The day I discovered the truth, the world didn't shatter. It simply rearranged itself, like a house of mirrors collapsing into sharp, jagged reflections of what I once believed. For 27 years, my life had been a carefully constructed illusion. My parents, Eleanor and Daniel Hartwell, were the kind of people who carried themselves with effortless grace, always polished, always poised. Our home was a masterpiece of curated perfection. Family photos in gilded frames, a sprawling estate with manicured lawns, and a legacy that stretched back generations. I was their only child, their pride and joy, or so I thought. The first crack appeared on an ordinary Tuesday. I was cleaning out the attic, a task my mother had always insisted on handling herself, when I found a rusted lock box tucked beneath a floorboard. Inside there were documents, a birth certificate, mine. But the names listed under mother and father were not Eleanor and Daniel, Maria and James Calloway. My hands trembled. The dates matched. The hospital, the city, everything aligned with the stories I had been told about my birth, except the names. I confronted my parents that night, the papers spread across the dining table like an accusation. For a long moment, they just stared at me, their expressions unreadable. Then my mother exhaled, slow and resigned. "We knew this day would come," she said. The truth unfolded like a nightmare. I wasn't theirs, not biologically. Maria and James had been my real parents, young, struggling, and desperate. They'd given me up in a private adoption, one sealed so tightly even the courts had no record. Eleanor and Daniel had paid for silence. They'd wanted a child, but not the complications of an open adoption. But the worst part? Maria and James hadn't wanted to give me up. A second set of documents, hidden deeper in the box, told the real story. Letters from Maria, pleading. "We changed our minds. Please let us see her. She's ours." Legal threats from Daniel's lawyers in response. A single faded photograph of a young couple holding a baby. Me. Their faces raw with grief. I had been stolen, not legally, not in the eyes of the state, but in every way that mattered. The foundation of my life crumbled. Every birthday, every lullaby, every whispered, "I love you," had been built on a lie. The people I called Mom and Dad had looked into my eyes for 27 years and never once told me the truth. I left that house the same night, the keys to my car clenched in my fist. I didn't know where I was going, only that I needed to find them, Maria and James, the parents who had fought for me, the ones who had loved me enough to let me go, only to have me ripped away. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in my life it was real. And reality, no matter how painful, was the only thing left worth holding on to. I hired a private investigator. 3 weeks later, I stood outside a weathered farmhouse in Vermont. A woman answered the door, graying hair, tired eyes, but her gasp told me everything. "Lillian?" My real name, the one they'd given me, the one the Hartwells had erased. Maria collapsed into my arms, sobbing. James, now frail from years of grief, could barely speak. They'd searched for me, fought, but the Hartwells had resources, influence. And then came the final blow. "We had a son," Maria whispered. "Your brother. He spent his whole life looking for you." A knock at the door, a man in his 30s, my eyes mirrored in his. "Lily?" I wasn't just stolen. I had a family, and they'd never stopped waiting for me. The Hartwells begged for forgiveness. They claimed they loved me, that they'd given me everything. But love doesn't erase truth. I changed my name back to Lillian Calloway, and for the first time in my life, I was free.